All right, welcome to Smokey Reacts. I'm your boy Jurnalist, and on this one, we are here to check out a documentary on Still Game. And in my attempts to understand better the place I currently live and the people that I may encounter, I was told that it would be very helpful to watch this show. I wouldn't get it all, but the more I watch it and the longer I'm here, I would better understand Scottish people. Now that I've watched Still Game to completion, actually that's a lie. I've saved the last two episodes because I'm just like I finished it too quickly. I was very sad. So I've got two episodes left, but I've watched damn near everything of Still Game, and I'm just like, oh, there's so many parallels. Or like me, and my boy Coco, like we're for sure Jack and Victor. Swear to God, that boy's Jack. I'm Victor, hands down. But I saw that there was a documentary, and I was like, oh yeah, I have to do this. I have to do this. So that's how we got here. So I saw this, was like, oh yeah, we're doing this, and yeah, it's pretty much how it works. So thank you for joining me. Please hit that like and subscribe. Patreon's in the description box if you'd like to support the channel further. And let's get into this one. Oh yeah, don't blame me for quality. All I got is 360 is as high as this goes. Eee.
The opening music's the ultimate. Oh, there it's coming on. So if you're in the kitchen, or if you're upstairs, or if you're out in the garden, it's almost like a signal that you have to run to the TV.
Do you mind what this place used to be like when they built it at first? Craig Lang, developing for the future.
Aye, aye. Craig Lang, modernity beckons.
Craig Lang, tomorrow's already here.
Craig Lang.
Shithole.
When I'm out though, because I'm so fucking tired of when I tell people from out here I'm from LA. It's just like fuck, man. Motherfuckers just don't know how to act. So now I just be like, I'm from Craig Lang, and like it just kills it. Like an American telling you they're from Craig Lang just blows people's fucking mind. Like, like what? And then they just move on. It's just like oh perfect. I don't have to like I don't begin to get treated differently because I say I'm from a place that has been we'll say glorified to you, and then also you're just like okay cool I've never heard of that place, and they just move on. So I love telling people I'm from Craig Lang. Now, granted, I know Craig Lang's not a real place. I know it's just a part of Glasgow, but I just understand. Well, it's not a part of Glasgow. It is a fictionalized place in Glasgow.
I've shown it to lots of my English chums and people from all over Britain, and they absolutely get it. So although the fact that you tend to think of it as utterly Glaswegian, there's one or two things they miss, wee references and stuff, but it travels incredibly well. It's just hilarious, and that's the beginning and the end of it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. That's just a complete utter lie. That shit does not travel well. Is it good if you just like comedy? Surely, but it is UK comedy, and UK comedy does not travel well to many places outside the UK. So yeah, it travels well to the English guys, but I play this for an American who doesn't want to know anything about Scottish people. The pattern is just not going to hit. It's just not going to hit.
What I love about Still Game is it's not just about Glasgow, it's not just about Scotland, actually. It could be anywhere. Victor and Jack could live in Vladivostok. I'll bet you there are Victor and Jacks in
No, that's what makes it beautiful. Is it can't be everywhere because not everywhere is constructed like this. It doesn't work everywhere. It is a fucking snapshot of a way of life that I truly, from my travels, know only happens in fucking Scotland, maybe England, but outside of that, no. These these small city town villages things like no, it just does not work. It doesn't.
Vladivostok or Idaho or somewhere.
Fucking for sure not Idaho.
The ground's all slippery, I know. I nearly went my arse there.
Oh, it's a pair of these you're wanting. Permagrip soles, Timpsons, 1999.
Is that right?
Ah, you've got to take care of yourself at our age, you know.
Jesus, he's all right.
Watch your feet, Jack. It's slippy.
It's a pair of these you're wanting. Permagrip, 1999. Got them out of That boy at Simpson's getting kicked squarely in the nuts.
Farmer Q.
The thing that strikes me about Ford and Greg is that they are in that mould of the classic double act, like Laurel and Hardy, like Morecambe and Wise, like the two Ronnies. Somehow,
I don't know none of these names he's
very
saying.
rarely, I think, fate brings two people together for a reason. And those two happen to meet up and happen to create a third person, if you like, a third thing. And it's this amazing explosion of talent, the fact that they write, the fact that they perform, and basically the fact that they're very, very funny together. They're great as individuals, but together...
It
there's
doesn't work
something
if they don't
special
write
happens.
it does not. If some other cunt is writing it, ooh, all this fucking scene. Oh. Hey, I'm telling you, I'm whipping the shit out of my boy. Oh.
Jesus. It's all cloudy.
It's
Can't
not
even see the
clean.
bottom. Oh, that's heavy.
Hey, square go, cuss. Square go. Instantly, square go.
I first became aware of Still Game when my household had a very worn out VHS copy of the original stage play. Showing my age a bit there.
Was I? A cat saved a woman's life. Something about the gas being left on and the cat fetched the police.
Tom does not need to look like that. No, that's Winston.
It was just
Is that
something I
Winston?
could
Is
sit down and
Winston or
watch with my
Ted?
dad.
Hold on, which kind is that? Police. He's gonna go bad. That's Winston.
It was just something I could sit down and watch with my dad.
I still need to see the stage
there's
play. I didn't even know it
obviously
existed.
generations and stuff, and sometimes you've not got tons to talk about, but you stick on Still Game, and he'd have a beer and I'd have a cup of tea, and we'd just sit and laugh away.
Here now. You want a wee cup of tea there, Jack? Eh?
Well, a wee cup of tea would be lovely, huh?
Nice wee orange club with it.
Oh, a wee orange
Wee
club,
bit of
aye.
chocolate.
Oh, aye.
Wee penguin,
Oh, a
eh?
wee penguin, aye.
Aye, well, tough titty. It's rich tea or hee-haw.
Well, we'd done the show at the Edinburgh Festival, and Karen Corn, who was good enough to give us a venue to do it in, at the end of the run said to us, I can get you to Canada on the back of this. They've got a festival there, and they're willing to take your show for 3 weeks, was it? 3 weeks? So we get there. Now, the set only involved a stinking old carpet, a hoover, a horrible old three-piece suite, and a sideboard. That was it, and a box for a television. So we thought we can get most of that over there. We'll be able to pick that up for our props department over there. However, what we'll not be able to get is a hoover, which was a pivotal moment in the show, like the one we had in the show.
What are you doing with that?
Well, it's all right, it's got wheels on it, there you are.
Right, get that plugged in there.
Right. You have to remember we were always winding each other up here. We said to Paul, you'll need to bring a hoover and take it to Canada. And he's went, nah, an old hoover, an old Hoover Junior, all the way to Canada.
They don't have hoovers over there like that.
No, they don't have hoovers like that. We said, you'll never be able to get. They hoover different over there. They do different.
So can you bring your...
Not only do we hoover different, we don't reference every vacuum on the market as just a hoover. Like, it's at least in North America, whatever vacuum brand it is, it's a vacuum. Like, a Hoover is a Hoover, a Dyson is a Dyson. But like over here, Dyson gets called a Hoover. Fucking Shark, Hoover, doesn't matter. It's a Hoover, which I'm just like, yo, if I was Hoover, I love this. Like, my brand is so ubiquitous that everybody gets called what my shit is called.
Yours.
So, He's right up to the last minute with no idea he was going to show up with Hoover. We're standing at the airport waiting for him, right, and he turns up. Well, you know the way when you lift him on the stair, comes out the minute. He's up and and
to check in.
Oh, to check it in, and they wanted to know what it was and where it was going and all that. You know, his life was a misery. But it wasn't until we landed we actually got there and realised we did need the Hoover. The Canadians don't have Hoover Juniors, they don't have them. Say you're going out there, right, and there they are, the wee bastards, right, and they say, right, give your pension book, right? Well, you just give them a wee nip of this. Bleep, on your way.
Right, to me, give us a shot.
Wait a minute, I've not a shot of myself.
Let me
yet.
see the thing.
Now, hold on a minute.
Jack,
No.
go on and just...
Oh, Jesus Christ, Victor, what have I done to you? Oh no, I've killed him, oh Jesus.
Get off me, you bloody clown. What are you doing?
Oh, you've come back, thank Christ. I thought I'd killed you.
Jesus, Jack, what happened to me?
Oh, this bloody thing. I didn't realise the voltage was so high.
It's all right, it's all right. You wanted to know. Help us up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Come on then.
Shock his ass back.
That's a bloody lethal weapon, are you all right?
Hi, I'm fine. It's no harm done.
Ah, well, give that to me, because I'm going to put it in a bin.
All right. There you are.
It's like when you watch an early episode of The Simpsons and the characters don't quite look like they do now, you know, and the voices are slightly different, mine in particular. But there were characters that we always came back to. We always felt very safe doing those characters, you know. They were like a boy in the ocean. You went to them because they were easy to write.
I mean, I think when we look back at Chewing the Fat now, I mean, when you see how much of Jack and Victor are in the entire, was it 4 episodes, 4 runs?
4 runs, yeah.
There's about an hour's worth of stuff for Jack and Victor in there. So we felt that the best place to always put them is in the pub, and we used to write songs for.
So I guess at the time of this documentary, they've done 4 series so far, but there's a total of 7. So 3 more series get, I guess, greenlit after this documentary because there's 7 series now, 7 or 8. I think it's 8 actually. So there's been 4 more series since they filmed this, which is great because hey, they deserved it.
For them that were sort of reminiscent of songs that you would have heard your grandparents singing, sort of pub songs, and that's how they became then popular with us and the fans. But then we brought in Tam's character because we wanted to sound like a barbershop harmony. I never managed it once, but and then we brought Paul into it as well. If you're going to break a heart, be sure to break a fat girl's heart. They're bigger, much bigger. If you're going to ruin someone's life, be sure they're not a scalp.
Skinny girls are fine, but when you dump them, they just run and find another.
But when you crush a chubby's heart, she remains with all the fatties on the shelf.
That shelf is leaking. She remains with all the fatties on the shelf.
No.
It was just a natural step that when we got the chance to do a sitcom that it was the old guys that we took.
What delights do you have on offer from your varied and extensive menu? Pies. Oh,
Oh shit.
you hear that, Jack? They have pies.
Oh, that's dandy because I was getting sick of that lobster thermidor, you know.
Right?
Last time we had pies, Jack.
Yesterday.
Och, well, pies it is then. 2 pies as they come.
Yes, as per usual. Frozen in the middle and red hot round the outside.
Irresistible.
Tam, could you go a pie?
Aye, a pie, aye.
Aye. We'll come back tomorrow and get it out of there.
There's a joke, actually. There's a joke that sums up actors perfectly. And it's how many actors does it take to change a light bulb? 2. One to change the bulb, and the other one to say, I could have done that. And but with Ford and Greg, that's one of the few things that I've never thought.
Pish.
Because I
That
watch
joke
them
was
and I go,
pish.
actually, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I couldn't be as good as that. And I don't know anybody else that could be as good as that. I think the performances are exceptional.
So you 2 are brothers?
Oh, yeah, brothers, aye.
And then,
Of course,
this episode's funny because them niggas was just out there lying, and then they get to some rich bougie person's house for some party. Shit goes left, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta beat it before the cops show up." And the birds that they was lying to, like, oh, we're rich as fuck. They was like, yo, can we go with you too? Because we ain't got no money like that neither. We was lying too. Also, I like in that episode, these two, after this part of the date, get back and they're like, all right, let's calm it down with the line. Very next time they see these birds, I've got a boat.
Jack's a couple of years older than me.
Don't start with your lies, Victor. He's actually 2 years older than I am.
So are you retired, the both of you?
Oh, yes, yes. We sold our business.
Oh, what sort of business did you have?
Hey, beetroot.
Jam. Sending it all over the world. You'd be surprised how lucrative it is.
And of course, we sold the business, then we split it right down the middle, you know. I'm good to myself, I don't mind telling you that, and I have been. Yeah.
I was a little bit shrewder with my money. I invested it and tripled it in a year.
Very clever man, my older brother. And sadly, my wife died, but she was independently wealthy, you see. So that brought me right back up on a par financially with Victor again.
Then, unfortunately, my wife died. And she left me enough to race away back in front again. For Jack.
I think what's great as well is there's a real community spirit. Something
Yes.
perhaps that a lot of communities maybe don't have anymore. It's that thing of everybody looking out for one another. And I think
Yes.
that's what makes it so incredibly real. I mean, all of
Yes.
these characters, and it doesn't matter if it's a character who's got a walk-on part and says one line, they're all absolutely true.
It gives me great pleasure to be here today.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
With great admiration, I've watched the community of Craig Lang grow and flourish.
No, you haven't.
No, you have
My
me.
father grew up here in Craig Lang, and he always had the greatest respect for his home.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
I wish that he could be here today to see this.
No, you don't.
I'm sure he would join me in congratulating Craig Lang today as we open this wonderful facility. For this building is a magnificent addition to a caring, thriving, forward-thinking community.
No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
You know, the other characters, you know, were written for
Just
people
taking the
that
piss.
ostensibly don't like it as well. You know, Bobby's a barman and we're always at loggerheads with him.
Booby.
You're Bobby, and you don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean? If somebody comes in and gives him a hard time.
He might be a wanker, but he's your wanker.
He's your Bobby.
Fucking right.
That wanker's your Bobby.
That's bad.
Oh, this episode is class too. These niggas. I'm doing this because maybe the people that watch this may end up watching this and never seen Still Game, so maybe they'll be interested in the explanations from the episodes I give. But this one is hilarious. So this episode starts out with Bobby right here on the bottom right, trying to get the drop shutter to his business to drop or to lift properly. It's been giving him trouble, and throughout this episode, the other thing that happens is there's a money lender that has come into town, and these are all, we'll say, the community of people primarily shown on this show are pensioners. So a money lender is just so predatory that it's not going to help. All right, sorry about that. I had a sneezing fit. But the reason that this turns out to be funny, though, is because at the end of the episode, when the money lender comes to the bar, at the end, the drop shutter drops on him. They're like, "Oh, we caught you, you cunt." And then they find out the rates that he's offering is I guess like a loan guy. And they're like, actually, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We like this. So it's just funny how the tables turned so quickly when they was like, oh, money lender bad. And then they were like, but favorable rates because we're pensioners. Okay, you're a good guy.
Master, when it's done, you can't get it up. When it's up, you can't get it done.
I'd have thought you were a bit young for the old Viagra, Bobby.
Bobby?
Right, Bobby, out the road.
Oh, yeah.
Bloody thing's lethal. It's got a life of its own.
Got a life of his own.
Hello.
I was kind of mucking about on YouTube and actually typed in the Still Game thing, and it had a compilation of all these entrances that that Ford and Greg would make to the pub, and have a Bobby the barman would have a pop at them, and every single time, and it was a compilation. Every single time they would come in and sort of be like, oh, here they are, you know, sort of mark them wise and boom, 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 to put them down. Here they are again, you know, sort of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, boom, boom, boom. And it was very, very funny. I mean, and it kind of just reminded you as to why it is so hugely popular.
Oh, here they come, Abbott and Costello. They're putting the beef on, Jack.
That's right. Every time I shag your wife, she makes me a sandwich.
Oh, look who it is. Phyllis and Dilla.
That's got to be the worst yet, you toss pot.
toss
Phyllis
pot.
Dilla's one person, no two.
Normally when we come in, Bobby, you get, look, it's Batman and Robin, or Laurel and Hardy, you know, double acts. What you said there's like saying, look, it's Frank and Sinatra.
Aye, or Bob and Hope, but that's your pattern.
Aye, knock your sellout, son. Eh? Look, Jack, it's Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen.
This is kind of slightly prickly area. Their relationship is like a marriage.
I think the thing
Like,
about
for
Jack
sure
and Victor
is.
it is a platonic love affair. You know,
For sure,
and,
for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's very, very modern. Very modern family. But they do love each other, and they look out for each other. And when
See how comfortable he is talking about it.
That's actually the biggest reason why I ended up loving this show at the end of it, and why I could see even personal parallels. Is me not even surprise, surprise. I'm not fucking Scottish, but as a non-Scot person, for me to love it the way I do was simply like the lady was saying, the sense of community that does not exist anywhere else in the world. To me, is fucking paramount in this show. And then what really drove it home was there's a particular episode where Jack and Victor have just gone to the shop, and one of them's like, "Oh, check this out. I got this nice ass steak, my boy, and I got two." That's what it is. And then my nigga's like, "Oh, say word. Check out this fucking roast I got, my nigga. I got this roast." And then it's like, "Oh, I got these biscuits. Oh, well, I got these biscuits. Oh, I got this dessert. Oh, I got this dessert." There was always I did something, and I was also thinking of my friend at the same time. And I made sure that I had something for you, just like you made sure you had something for me. But there was no prior communication to it. It was just a care for your community or your friend or somebody that you truly cared about. And that's, to me, what made it really special, was the fact that they were doing this. And I was just like, damn, that's how it should be, especially the older we get in life. It just makes it easier if you have a community that you can lean on, but like actually cares about you, and you actively do your part, because you can't just lean on these people and do X, Y, and Z and not also like make it to where they can lean on you too. So this is why, like, just that one episode, I can't remember which one it is, but I was just like, that's it. That's it. They got it figured out.
Yeah, Adam's like that. With the body language here. Oh yes, it's a platonic love affair.
It's about friendship, real deep friendships. And although they're both very Scottish, and that's why I love it so much, they're never going to tell each other that they love each other. But they really do. They really do. They do anything for one another, despite all the
Facts.
banter and the
Boys would
reasons.
catch a body for each other.
No, I'm not doing that. My arms are perfectly natural
okay,
here.
fair enough. Oh, Isa.
Morning, Jack.
What is it?
Is that Victor? What's Victor doing in your house at 7 o'clock in the morning?
He came across for butter, a line of butter.
Where is this ice cream, Jack?
It's your turn to mop the landing, and I was just wondering if you wanted me to do it.
Aye, that would be smashed. That'd be very good, eyes. I'm up the landing.
For anybody that has not seen the show, this is the worst bird to have you see, to see what's going on in this house, because she's going to tell fucking everybody. Jesus, this bird Isa fucking just, she does not know how to fucking keep a secret.
Who's that?
Isa, who else would it be?
Listen, take a look at this, Jack. It's getting bigger. Is it ready to pop?
Oof, that's like Krakatoa, that. Isn't it? Oof, it's a cracker right enough. It's an absolute belter.
Yes, squeeze.
But it's important to get it across, that they're real people with depth, and they struggle, and they pine when the other one's away, and And because people do, and that might have accidentally became what part of the heart of the show is. It might be. We can't pinpoint exactly what it is. People like it for different reasons, but lots of people have said to us that they like the sad bits as well.
Yeah, the show's about companionship, so whenever that is threatened in the show, when that companionship is threatened, it hurts the characters.
Fuck that boy Jack, son. Because that nigga went to the center of a volcano in a helicopter, but didn't he come to fucking Scotland? That son of a bitch.
They can be funny, sad. They can really make you laugh one minute and make you cry the next. That is the really, really brilliant writing and brilliant acting. It's just, tugs at your heartstrings. It's fantastic.
Oh, aye. Was a rare day, that, eh? How long's Jean away now, Jack?
About 2 weeks, it'll be 10 years.
10 years. That means my Betty's away 12 years. It's all racing away for us now, eh?
That's kind of a bit bothered me. I'm not getting through all that again.
You know, Jack, it's not my place to tell you how long a man should mourn, but 10 years. 10 years is plenty. Going on a date doesn't betray Jean's memory. She'd want you to be happy. Why don't you get doing that shop? Ask that woman out, eh? Besides, hey, daddies.
My first appearance in Still Game was as Edith, and I was a blind date to...
I'm not going in there. I'm not going to my local with that bird. When I heard that shit, I was like, this nigga's mad.
Victor. Jack had asked Barbara, who played by the lovely Eileen McCallum. She played Barbara, and I played her sister, Edith. Now, they didn't know what I looked like. I remember we were filming, we came in the bus, and Jack and Victor were waiting at the bus stop.
This is bloody torture.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Victor. This is my sister. Edith.
So they're standing outside of fucking the Klansman, and he's like, I'm not going into my local with that one. Not going into my local. I was like, damn. Like, that's really like a cultural, like, touchstone to me. Like, my local? You want me to chum you and play motherfucking wingman with that bird in my local? Oh, you cunt. However, the lesson we learn here, boys, you chum your mate so he can kill the food he'd like to eat. Handle your business. Don't be a sorry motherfucker and a hater just because the bird doesn't fit your criteria. That doesn't mean we stop our boy from getting the food he wants. Don't be a dickhead. You chum your mate and that bird that you don't like to your local, and you do it happily. Can you complain before you get into your local? Surely. But once we're in there, you be the best wingman God has ever seen.
Hello, lads.
Hi, Winston.
Oh, hello, ladies. I'm Winston.
Oh, hello, Winston.
You still bored?
Aye. Here, which one of you two unlucky bastards is saddled with a munchkin?
Right, that's it.
Where are you going?
Him! I'm not sitting in my local with that thing, Jack.
Oh, that's just... Where are you going?
Him! I'm not sitting in my local with that thing, Jack.
Oh, that's just perfect, isn't it? You're going AWOL and leaving me with these two women.
I only saw one woman, Jack. I don't know what that other one is.
A munchkin, sure.
Shut up! Once you've established all these...
Again, the lesson we learned from that episode, handle your business for your boy.
Characters as fully blown characters, then when you start to embark on writing a new show, you say, well, let's say, for instance, somebody showed up with a big red nose. You're writing immediately because you know exactly how these characters are going to react to that. Isa would be away telling everybody, oh, there's a man there, you want to see this man's nose, honest to God. And Winston and Tam could not avoid talking about it or pointing at it. Bobby would probably drop a bottle when he's seen it for the very first time. You're off in one because you know how the community would react to this thing happening.
Victor, Jack, what are you staying in at this time?
Well, we're out with a couple of friends if it was any of your bloody business. And by the way, while I'm at it, when are you letting Winston back in?
When he apologises. Aren't you going to introduce me?
No, certainly. Barbara.
Hello.
Hello, Barbara.
And Edith. Victor.
Hello.
Well, we'll have our usual... Barbara.
Gin and tonic, please.
Edith.
Fine again, Guinness.
Guinness, shite. Gin and tonic. Hadn't had them until I came to Scotland. They're okay, but it's just like it's all water. It just tastes like a big glass of water. Like it's just water. And then you get what is it? Some Gordon bitter lemon ice. I'm sipping. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
So after the date, they go away and they go to the bus stop to go home.
Yeah, they uggled her up
Barbara,
pretty
Eileen
well.
McCallum, she kisses Jack, and then my character Edith goes to kiss Greg.
See you soon then, Jack.
Hit that bitch with the noogie.
That's what everybody mentions, actually. That's how clever they are. They say, I love that bit when he grabs your head and he goes like that, or then shoves you on the bus. It's brilliant. So I just remember that. That was just so funny, really funny.
The one scene I was ever in Still Game was I was playing a character called Martin, and it's a 30-second, 40-second scene, and his mother has bought Empire biscuits instead of snowballs, and he loses the rag. I'm not wanting an Empire biscuit, I'm wanting a snowball.
No snowballs?
Yeah.
You stupid old cow!
Oh, I remember this.
You've got an Empire biscuit.
I'm not wanting an Empire biscuit, I'm wanting a snowball! Taxi!
Maybe if you have a job, Martin, you're mocking wipe your ass for you, Martin.
And I get that shouted at me at least once a week, to this day, by people. And I can never remember what they're talking about. It takes me by surprise every single time. But if you've sneezed in Still Game, it stays with you for the rest of eternity. I'm very proud of it. It's great.
When I came up to Scotland, it would be fair to say, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, that of the people who come up to see it, hey, big man, I saw you in, it's more than 9 out of 10 times, it's Stewie Maduri. Well, I'm just under 6'6", and I think I...
No Midori cuss. No Midori.
Heels on, which were maybe 4 or 5 inches, so I must have been 6'10", and then I had a hat on top of that, so I must have been somewhere near 7 feet. I felt huge.
Smashing your hearing is.
No bother, Victor. Couple of things. People remember throwing the thing out the window, going at the nets. They remember the drink. And they also remember, and thank you for this, boys, they remember the 18-inch pile of shite in the toilet. So it would be fair to say, yes, it's followed me around in some senses like a bad smell.
Come here. What is it, Isa? It's in there. It's in there.
Calm down, Isa.
Look.
What was supposed to be look?
Oh, yeah. It's a big bastard. He must have had to have stood up to get his cell off of that.
I can't have that.
Bar it with a loo brush, break it into bits.
I pick up domestic, burn it to death.
Domestic.
One of the main things I love about it is the fact that lines are crossed very often, and I love that. I love it. Because what is also obvious and evident is that underneath that kind of broad, very broad, over-the-line humour, they're decent people.
I mean, a lot of the characters we've got are based on people. Mine's is my Uncle Barney, Greg's is his grandfather Sammy, Tam is based on a friend of mine, Martin, I'll say his surname, Kane, who's very miserable. But, you know, so we're just drawing for people that we know and, you know, planting it on the other people.
300, not a halfpenny less. Right, Tam, you heard the man. 300 quid.
I've got him out of barrel here. I'm the only bidder. I'll say 150.
You hell, you miserable bastard. You listen to me. This is your chance to do the right thing. Be generous. The car's worth 300. You've got that in your pocket. Now give Victor his money.
Damn, you miserable bastard.
300. Thanking you.
I think as characters go, they do have their traits and they can be exaggerated as they would be in any sort of drama. But the characters themselves are funny and they're sad at times because they're real. I think that's the fact. People watch it and it is very real life. People can see the characters in people. They're not outrageous. They're not unbelievable characters. And I think that's what's gave it the longevity.
Willie, Christ, look at the state you're in.
Are you riding a bike?
That's what that young pussy will do to you.
It's a gift from my girlfriend.
Aye, we saw the pair of yous down at the cafe, aye. Chris, she's half your age, man.
Are you know a bit old for a bike, Willie?
Oh, big man, the
Nonsense.
view.
She got me a bike. Keep me fit.
Keep you fit for what? Oh, you're no, actually.
Absolutely none of your business. What a thing to ask. I would never discuss anything personal like that.
You're up 500 quid. Thank you, Stevie. Thank you for keeping my money warm. Now get into that safe and get me paid. Look at you, Stevie.
See, so Stevie has come back into town after running off on Tom, running off on Winston and his money. That he then came back into town under a new fucking identity, opened up another bookie, and then got fucking Winston to bet all his fucking money. And then he fucking is down to what, like his last 3 bands. And that's where he gets.
Actually thinking about doing it again, ain't you? Doing a runner. What are you going to do this time? Cut your balls off and come back as your sister? Get me paid. Thank you, Stevie.
The thing about
you
sitcom
smoked your leg
that
off.
you have to get back to the place you were at the beginning. So you're at the start point, and whatever happens, happens. You know, the A story, the B story takes you somewhere, but you have to get back. I mean, that's the whole point. Is in a sitcom, you're sort of trapped, and you need to get back to being trapped so you can carry that on. So you've got what, maybe a minute to go left of this episode of Still Game. Winston's 30 grand richer. And you're thinking, well, what's going to happen now? He's 30 grand richer. Has everything changed?
You're not going to do it and still having that money now, are you?
No danger. Oh, but his face, though. It was as if I'd planted one right in his balls. Boof! Right in the Niagara Falls.
Boof! Right in the Costa del Sols.
Right in the Vita McCalls. Boof!
But in the space of a minute, he's lost his leg and he's lost the 30 grand. That's a beautiful example, as well as the A story being the money, the B story being Winston's legs just tying in a big, fat, lovely knot.
I'm speaking for 40 as well, but the two of us have our favourite sitcoms, and our preference for sitcoms tend to be ensemble pieces, things like Cheers or something like Seinfeld, where the guy in the middle is like the satellite and everything else moves around about him, you know. Shows like that, they just grow out organically for the audience as well, I think, you know. And everybody has a favourite character, as do we. And that's kind of a fun show to write. It's a much more fun show to write than a show that the audience are only interested in one or two characters, and then if you do a subplot with another character, they're not so keen on it because they're not invested in it. But the audience is invested in Bobby and Isa and Winston, and we can give them the ball to run with it, and run with it they do.
Oh, my pals come to get me. Where the hell have you been?
Get in the car, Jack. I'm not in any mood to piss about.
Right, we have to get in!
Wait a bloody minute.
We've all got the same place, driver. Hey, Victor.
Yeah, what the bloody hell's that smell, eh?
A fish dumper.
Oh, here's a
You
chip.
want a bit, eh?
Don't open that in this car.
It's on here, take a chip. Let's just smoke.
I've got it, sorry, I've got it. Oh, no, it's all broken to wee bits. Oh,
That's terrible. Keep the bloody noise down. Victor's been good enough to get out of his bed and come and get us. You're not taking a liberty stinking out his car like that. For God's sake.
I think one of the main strengths is that it is a team effort. All of us together make the show. And everybody's got different favourite characters. Some people will say, oh, I love Isa, she's just like my next door neighbour, or I love Naveed, or I love Tam, whoever. And I think the boys have been generous in that they don't always write themselves the best lines. Sometimes some of my favourite lines are other people's. And it's, you know, a lot of writers wouldn't do that. They would keep all the best lines for themselves.
It wasn't really always about generosity, though, because Ford and I had a lot of hangovers during those shows, and it was always good to get the other cast members to take the bulk of the weight of the episode and carry us. And I remember one time there was an episode that was 27 minutes long, and Colin Gilbert came to us and went, you need 2 minutes. And we were like, well, I'm not writing a new piece to learn for 2 minutes. And we got Jane McCarry and we wrote her a monologue in the lift, and it's that scene from the lift where she guesses where Jack and Victor are going to go just by the way they're dressed, and we don't say a word. And we gave it to
That's a
we
great
gave it
scene,
to
actually.
Jane half an hour before we filmed it. Went, that's going in love in about half an hour, so if you could learn that. She went, fine. And she filmed it, went, that's going in love in about half an hour, so if you could learn that. She went, fine. And she learned it and did it in one take.
One take. That's what she's like.
Oh, look at you two. All done up smart. Nice jackets. Where you's gone? Oh, you're not going to the Klansman, no turned out like that. Must be somewhere good, eh? Somewhere special. Eh? What would that be? What would the reason be? A wedding? No, it's not a wedding. You'd have buttonholes on for a wedding. It's no a funeral because of the tie. And it's not a court case. I'd have heard about that one. It's a day out somewhere. Somewhere that isn't Craig Lang. It's a tune. It's a tune, isn't it? I know where you're going. But why? Are you celebrating something? Your birthday? No. Two old pals going into the tune. Two old pals celebrating. Celebrating. Celebrating just being old pals. That's it, isn't it? An anniversary. That's it, isn't it?
Scary, that one.
She's creepy with that. She gives me the fear.
She is a joy to play. First of all, because you're always comfortable. You know where you are with Isa. You've got polyester, layers of cheap wool, and a comfortable shoe.
Oh,
So you, Isa, where are you off to?
Naveed's. I'm away to do my shift.
It was close. You got off lightly there.
Vincent, I'm glad I caught you there. I completely forgot to tell you.
Tell me what, Isa?
Well, I never buy the Times. There's usually nothing in it you haven't read in the real papers. Just the same old news again later on. Rubbish, really. And there's no point buying twice for it. Anyhow, don't ask me why, but I bought one. And I was flipping through it in case something like to do. What are you doing, Winston?
I'm trying to fast forward you to the punchline. Get to the end of the story.
Aye, well, I was flicking through it.
The end.
The intimation set.
The end, mind.
Wally McIntosh is dead.
Thank you.
Although at times they do horrible things to Isa, or they'll say horrible things, they always have our back. You know.
That's our hint. I
they
wish
hated her
motherfucker
flat
would.
for her. They, you know, when Harry, when she was trying to get rid of Harry, Winston, who doesn't have a great deal of time for Isa, still came and looked after Isa, pretended to go to bed with her and everything, which is one of my favourite scenes.
Again, that's
Because when
our
we were
hen
filming
blood.
it, we had to do about 20 takes because we kept laughing and he fell out the bed and hit his head.
Isa, sweetheart.
The set's terrific fun to work on. It's hard work, but it's great fun because everyone knows each other so well. I think the cast are a joy to work with. They all know their characters inside out. Therefore, they can relax and not be nervous about the work they're doing, which means they can have fun doing that work.
What have you been on recently, Paul?
Coxie and I have just finished a detective series set in Holland called Clever Clogs.
When we were filming Taggart, a lot of the same crew would finish Taggart and go and work on Still Game. They seemed to fit in together, and they would all go off and they would come back to start filming again in Taggart, and they would come back with all these amazing stories about what a laugh they had on the set of Still Game. There was so many carry-ons, wind-ups. They even had quizzes at lunchtime. Whereas on the set of Taggart, all I had was Alex Norton snoring in the corner of the trailer. So yeah, I was always really jealous that Still Game just sounded like this brilliant job to work on and sounded like such a laugh. Whereas all we did was pull dead bodies out of bin bags in the Garscube Road.
Oh, Jesus. Back the boat.
No, this way! In the boat, you diddy! Oh, Christ! Yous are dead. They will look dead. That was our picnic, you dick. Skis were beer. We drank it all, and it was delicious.
Stop that now. You're just annoying him.
Do you know what we've got to do to yous? No! See if you hum it. I'll try and play it.
Well, subtlety didn't really come into it with Still Game. I got a phone call from my agent saying that the director of Still Game would like to meet me, and I went along to see Michael Hines, and he gently explained that the character was one who had almost superhuman hearing. Hearing, of course, ears.
Here, Victor. Don't be annoying him. As old as he is, he's still bloody handy, and he is doing us a favour.
Look, let's just not be hanging about sitting there while he rattles on about the war.
Shut up, he'll hear you.
Oh, I can hear through bloody walls and on now.
Aye, I can. Jack, Victor, what can I do for you?
But when I was about 17, a casting director in London said to me, "Aye, my dear boy, you will get nowhere in this business if you don't have your ears pinned back." Fortunately, I didn't pay any attention to that, because if I had, I would never have been in Still Game. Never been Shug.
Fuck that
the
doctor.
Lug.
Or whoever
so,
that
of course,
person
I turn
was.
up at makeup and wardrobe on the first day. The wardrobe was not very complicated. Makeup, I thought, well, I'm one of the oldest people in the show. Most of the other guys are aging up. I'm playing my own age, so they maybe just have to put a few wee lines on me. And then suddenly Julie Doric Keenan comes out with a huge pair of rubber ears. Ignominy. As if they're not big enough, they're going to put rubber ears on as well. Oh, Jamie. But there's a box in makeup at the comedy unit that just says Shugs Lugs. I think that's rather nice.
Shuggy!
Whoa, what you doing? What you doing? You only come over and blow the tits off us about Timbrook.
Right enough, aye. Prick. What do you suppose is in the bag?
The eye buys that shitey breed, you know, snappy shopper. 22 pence a loaf.
That's because he's a miserable old bastard, eh?
Sunblast! Test gear!
Get it up, yes.
My favourite episode, or to be better, my favourite moment of Still Game is
I'm not
Winston's
dead.
accumulator.
You know, and he's having the thing with Stevie the bookie, and it's constantly going on and coming in, and he's winding up, and it's just the moment when he comes in the bookies and it's just coming up. Stevie's just putting the pens in the wee holes as Winston's just building to erupt and erupt and erupt, and it's just the comic timing, and it's beautifully done. And then bang, as the last one goes in, you can't hear him, you just see him mouthing all his expletive, shouting, "Yep, effing this, effing that," and it's...
You hate it when I win and you love it when I lose.
That's right.
Money flows into your till all day, Stevie, but that's not enough, is it? With my money, you have to gloat. A gloating bookie. I mean, that's unheard of in the bookie world. You must be the worst bookie in Britain. Don't worry, Stevie boy. One day I'm going to win. And I'm going to win big, and then you'll be gutted. In fact, you'll be beyond gutted, and then I'll be the one who's gloating. And boy, can I gloat, Stevie boy. You want to see me when I start gloating? You clop, you pop, you dunderhead. You and this bookie's underwater.
It's a standout moment.
The thing we haven't mentioned is how beautifully written it is. And
Oh, we
how
have. We've
two
definitely
guys
mentioned it.
Who, I think when they started, they must have been in their early 30s, right, in their late 20s. And actually, they quite sweetly asked me to write the intro to the book. And I said, how can two guys that age write so beautifully about a couple of grave dodgers, as they would call them, grave dodgers? How do they do that? And I can't think of anyone else who's done it.
Feeble. We're getting feeble. That's a word for it. First the body goes, then the mind. I mean, imagine not being able to catch a rolling flask, for God's sake.
Ah, didn't beat yourself up, Jack. It's no your fault. I'm the dafty that's shoved it off the shelf. I mean, take yesterday, for instance, lads, you know. 20 minutes it took me to open a can of bloody peas. I couldn't do it. I've ended up making a tiny wee hole and getting them out pea by pea.
That's evil. Wait till you see this.
Oh yeah, this is wild.
The man's had just sprang back, but I've timed it 15 full minutes for that to reset. Put your finger in there.
Indeed I will not put my finger in your bloody leg.
It's such a brave thing to do. And you can imagine the pitch. Imagine, right, you're the guy who puts stuff on BBC telly. A great idea, right? A couple of 32-year-old guys are going to dress up and behave like a couple of guys in their mid-70s.
This is where I'm just like, this is shite patter. Because that's not what happened. They didn't even need to sell the show like that. They literally got to do multiple skits on the show prior that they had together as a two-man duo out of costume. That's why they were able to easily walk it into BBC and like, cunt, 30 minutes of this. What do you think? And then had skits to show. Now, if it had been no prior show, no prior skits, then everything he's saying is true. But that's just not the fucking reality, blood. Niggas had a show before. They did skits on there, and it was very simple. There was no pitch by young guys trying to sell old fucking things or an old person's show by young people. That's not what happened. Not even fucking close. And you know this. So this is just shite patter. I don't know what this nigga's talking about. This is bullshit.
It'll be hilarious. You'll be going, uh-huh.
The good thing about the fact that it's young people playing old people is that there's a big, long lifespan to the show.
Facts.
So if you look at Dad's Army, where most of the cast probably started out in their late 60s, you've maybe got 5-6 good years before people get too old. Ford and Greg started this when I think they were probably late 30s, early 40s. They could make this for 40 years and still look the same and just use less makeup each year.
Oh, says nae ball games. Can you not read?
Shut up, you old dick.
The other thing which is terribly funny about it is it's not remotely age specific. My children, who are 16 and 21, quite often, if there's nothing on the telly, will just throw in a still game and we'll all sit down and watch it as a family and laugh till our sides hurt, despite the fact we've all seen it about 17 times, you know. There's not many shows you can say that about.
It's amazing that it's rolled over and rolled over from generation to generation. People talk about, somebody
Damn,
said to
you
me,
miserable
my
bastard.
dad handed them down his DVDs as if it was, you needed it to survive.
Listen.
See, once we shut this place up,
Aye.
you don't fancy going for a curry, do you?
Aye. I love curry.
Good.
Good. I better go and get set up then.
Aye. Off you go.
I never understood why he did that. He just shot himself in the foot.
Wait! Marco!
Shove your quiz up your arse.
Table for one at the Indian Star tonight, Bobby?
Yep. Table for one.
My bit of advice that I'd always say to MD, though, whenever they find one of these still game repeats, or, fingers crossed, if you go and watch a new series, is if you're recording it, always record the programme after it as well, right? Now, I don't care if it's Miranda or Citizen Kane or something like that. You don't need to watch it, but always record the programme after it, because the amount of times I've been sat there, episode is nearly finished, and up come the credits at the end, and you think to yourself, still got that wee magic bit to go at the end, the very, very end. Can't wait now, it's nearly there. Boom. End of recording, right up across the screen. It is the most annoying thing in the world. And you think, what was that last wee bit going to be? Because it's always a gem, you know.
What a heat I've got. Bloody hell. What was I thinking about slapping Margot's arse? You stupid bastard, Bobby. Still, the place was mobbed. It was a cracking night.
Dorothy Paul was in Still Game. She played Frances, my wife's sister, and she was interested in me in that way, you know. And
you was interested too.
I too was very interested in her. Very attractive woman, Dorothy Paul.
When I was offered this part, I was absolutely thrilled. Imagine being offered the part of the romantic interest. Me, eh? And especially working with Tam, because, I mean, Tam's a youngster, but he plays the part so well. You just feel you're with somebody of your own age.
It was exciting. It was exciting for an old man.
I'll just get you a tea for the bus, Molly.
Well, I'll come with you then.
Don't be stupid, you've got the case. You stay and keep Molly company.
All right, so.
That bird dangerous.
Tam? Do you not want to be alone with me?
That's a problem, see? I want to be alone with you. Tonight, tomorrow night, for the rest of my life. Your tight-fistedness drives me crazy, sweetheart. Gets me harder than the crossword in the Herald. But this wedding band says we can never be. I'm married to your sister, Molly. Any feelings I have for you ain't worth the hill of beans.
Got your tin of sweeties and all, Molly.
Thanks.
Now, you look after yourself.
Here's one last freebie for you, Tam.
I loved an episode that was
Bobby?
Matt Costello and I think it was called Seconds Out, and it's a girl moves into the area with a pizzeria, and we both are fighting for her attention, basically, and trying to get fit and stuff, and Bobby's useless as always, and useless in love as always, but does his best to win this girl over, only to find out that Jim Watt is her father. Which we find out at the very end of the episode, because we're going to fight over her, and you can imagine how that pans out.
So they sent a script through, and true enough, it was an old, worn-out, retired boxer. They'd written the part, but it was myself. I had to play myself in it. So I thought, well, surely I can manage that. In my acting debut, I can play myself. So I did that, and you know, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made. It was great fun. The whole experience was terrific. I loved every bit of it. The cast were terrific, you know, and everything about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Now, these two fighters are going to battle it out over 3 rounds to settle an argument to find out who gets to take out some wee lassie. Now, they're not professionals, as you'll soon realise, But I tell you, she must be some bit of stuff if these two fellas are willing to go toe-to-toe for her.
She's got great tits.
Jesus Christ.
And after this fight, they're going to be my tits.
Now, are you boys sure you want to do this?
Listen, Jim, if you'd seen this bit of gear, you'd pull the gloves on and all.
Don't take our word for it, Jim. There she's there. Look. Would you no walk out broken glass for a half hour with that, eh?
Stacey. Hello, Dad.
Miss Stacey. Stacey.
I got a fair amount of fame becoming a world boxing champion in the city of Glasgow who love their sporting heroes, but nothing prepared me for the fame I was going to get through appearing on Still Game.
There is one thing that we should say, though, that we were away for 7 years. There are loads of rumours about how we'd fell out and all the rest of it. And we come back after 7 years having absolutely no earthly idea whether we'd be wanted back. And the audience just completely embraced the fact that we were back and just jumped all over us. That's a fantastic feeling, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. It's great.
I mean, you know, 7 years would have killed any other show. Still Game fans are amazing, absolutely amazing.
We got the tattoos because I'm a massive fan of Still Game. Yeah, I did go through 6 hours of pain to get these tattoos, but it was well worth it. I mean, what?
Jesus. Terrible fucking work. If those tattoos were free, they still would cost too much. Terrible. Grayscale. Like, who is this? This doesn't even look like fucking Jack Blood. Like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, no. This is shit work. I love the fact that you got the tattoos, but they're just shit work, Blood. Shit work. You needed to either wait till you could get a better, more photorealistic, better tattooist, or not do it. That's just not good enough.
Better way to honour Still Game than to get Jack and Victor onto my thighs. Even still to this day, my wife doesn't even know how much I paid for them.
Like I said, if it was free, it's still too much.
Still Game's the best Scottish comedy that's ever been created.
Facts.
It makes me feel pretty nostalgic thinking back to when I was younger, growing up with Still Game. Most excellent show.
It's brilliant. It's just Glasgow humour. It's absolutely brilliant. What about you?
Typical Scottish humour. Everybody in Scotland just gets it.
Yeah, I know.
It's not even been on for a few years, and yet, any time it's on BBC One, everybody's like, right, that's what I'm watching. It's hilarious.
Facebook news feed is just full of
Yeah,
Still Game's brilliant.
It's been brilliant from the journalist point of view covering this story this year because I have had an endless succession of stories. The Still Game story has been the story that keeps on giving, but possibly one of the best nights of my career, and certainly a night I will never forget was the night I ended up gate crashing the Still Game pub quiz with the cast of Still Game. Ford Kiernan had got some t-shirts printed, Still Game 2014, so we all put them on and headed off down Sauchiehall Street.
And we were quite confident as a cast we would win it. Why would you not be confident? We were the cast. But
Right.
we came in and there was a lot of screaming and cheering and woo! And murals on the wall of the cast and Still Game fans. That's what they were, these people, real Still Game fans. And we weren't long into the quiz when we realised we were going to get a doing.
It was a pretty mental night. By the end of it, everyone was up dancing, doing the slosh. Ford Keenan was in the sound booth singing. It was a mental night, and one we won't forget.
It's a beautiful day.
The fantastic thing about the way these dates were extended, they were extended from September into October, and then they were extended back the way, at the start of the run, because the demand was so high, was that they knocked U2 out of playing at the Hydro. So one of the world's biggest rock bands were stymied by Still Game. They were knocked out of playing this enormous venue in a big showpiece concert by two old men in their flat caps. It's fantastic.
I've been there.
Oh, 'cause this shower of wankers live at some bastard arena, you know. They've not performed together for years. They've settled their differences and now they're back. Back to wring the last bit of sweetness out of for cold hard cash, eh? They must think we're daft. Only a mug would pay to see a bunch of pensioners staggering about the stage, you know.
Monty Python.
All right.
That's what
Tis
I'm
but a
really
scratch.
humbled about the fact that the audience have been so faithful to us and continue to be.
It was the biggest and greatest affirmation we could have ever hoped for. But it also told us, and we discovered about the show, that we could go 7 years without having to see or speak to each other.
Aye.
So I'll see you in 7 years, you get.
Yeah, thanks very much. Shake my hand.
One small step for a one-legged man.
One giant leap for Craig Lang!
We're back!
Yo. This is ignorant. That motherfucker is sold out, blood. That is crazy. Like, Kendra couldn't even do this. Like, what? Jeez.
Yeah. So, well, there you are. That flew by for me. Flew by for you.
It really did. It only seemed like an hour.
So nothing left for us, nothing left for us to do except to say, listen, enjoy 2015 and get one or two down your neck. Very happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
Oh, the slosh. I love the slosh. Watch my bag, Tam.
So I would also say that Scottish people are the only people that have, well, Scottish people and Midwestern white people are the only people with a dance that I would consider to be similar to the cha-cha, well, not the cha-cha slide, the electric slide that black people do. But that's it. But this one seems very, the more closely reminiscent to the electric slide than, we'll say, line dancing for Midwestern white Americans. Because when I seen this, and I was like, Scottish people got their own electric slide, huh?
Winston? You know a slosh man? No. I'm merely a dashing white sergeant.
You're saying happy 2015. What if they repeat it next year?
Oh, it's BBC, aye. Oh, well, a very happy 2016.
Happy 2017.
2000, does this repeat, you get repeat money?
What is it?
2018, 2019,
Happy
2020.
2021.
Yep, 22.
There have to be robots after that with their heads in a jar.
2023.
All the best.
All right. I can't really say too much. I've already said probably quite a bit. However, I've truly, I guess, as a outsider, found a passion and a love for a show that I didn't think I was going to have. So that's, again, why when I seen this, I was like, I have to fucking check this out. I have to. That being said, that'll be it for me on this one. Thank you very much if you made it to the end of this one with me. I truly do appreciate it. If you could, please hit that like and subscribe. We are trying to actively grow the channel. Patreon's in the description if you would like to support any further than just a like or a subscribe. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. Peace.